we want to dive into, why are people losing so much money in mentorship nowadays? We want to talk a little bit about marketing, but we also want to talk about what you want to talk about. And so as you guys are coming in, make sure that you put your questions in the chat, and we will be sure to get to them, and get through them as we go throughout the process. No question is a bad question, only the one that you don't ask, right? So you got us here at
Yeah.
your disposal. To be here as a wallflower and not participate would be ludicrous to your growth and development. And I advise that you not do that. P, what's up, bro?
Man, how you doing, man? I'm happy to be back. Yo, it's so funny. I gotta tell you a funny story. So yesterday, I thought yesterday was today. So I was on a call, but I was sitting there for a good 30 minutes. Like, why ain't be on Riverside right now? And I'm like, I look at my phone. I'm like, it's Wednesday. I was sitting there waiting. I'm like, yo, we late for the call. I'm like, what are we doing, yo? I look at my phone. I'm like, bro, I went back to sleep so fast. It wasn't even funny. I was so angry. Like, yo, I just was sitting up here. I'm sitting here waiting. Like, B ain't text me or call me. Like, I'm like, we not doing a call today. So I'm glad we on today. I know what
Yeah,
today is. So it's
yeah,
Thursday.
yeah. Well, this
But
better
yeah,
be a good one because you clearly were anxious to get here, so
bro.
we're gonna make it a good one, you know?
Yeah, man. I was anxious, but I'm just happy to be back, man. I know you just got done with the challenge and all the things of that nature. So I'm just happy to be back, man. It's been what, like 2 weeks we've been off? 3 weeks we've
Yeah,
been
it
off.
seemed
So
that way. Thinking
yeah,
about
so
that.
I'm
Yeah.
yeah, man. So I'm happy to be back. I do want to ask you, man, how's everything going? How the challenge been? Like what how was your, 2 weeks off from this?
It was so everything has been great, right? A challenge week is always super busy, but it was good, man. It was good, you know, in the sense that every challenge is always different, even though it's kind of the same idea, same format, right? But it's always different because it's different people there, and everybody in different places and got different problems, and so
Right.
that's always that's always interesting for me, right? Like I love the Q&A, the VIP that we do, 1 hour each day, because we have no idea what questions people are gonna ask us. We have no idea who's in the room, and so to get to learn more about other people's businesses and kind of help them get an unlock based on where many of them are stuck at. Man, it's just that's to me that's the best part of the job. Quite honestly, is like
Yeah.
helping people get unstuck. But with that, also noticing, bro. So initially, we were like helping a lot of people get started in their coaching and consulting business. But then we started to change some of our messaging so that we will pull in people that already had existing coaching and consulting businesses that we could help them scale faster. But in doing so, bro, it's sad to me how many people, and just in this last challenge, we're talking about, one lady was in tears. She spent 6 figures, still ain't like sold anything, right? She spent 6 figures on coaching, ain't sold nothing. There were several other people who had spent 30, 50, you know, I'm talking about multiple people had spent that kind of money and still hadn't garnered any kind of results in their business. And I'm not saying that it's all on the fault of whoever that they spent the money with, right? I'm not saying that like I don't think everybody invested in bad programs, right? But it is something to say of how many people out there have spent tens of thousands of dollars, if not 6 figures, on coaching and coaching and consulting from other people, and still have no results in their business, bro. That like that, I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
really don't understand that. I've invested hundreds of thousands of dollars and will continue to in my own personal growth and development. But I don't know how not to get an ROI from that though. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
whoever that is that I'm in business with, they gonna be tired of me because I'm gonna go out, run the play, and I'm gonna come back and say, this worked, this didn't work, what we gonna do different? And then I'm gonna go and run that play, and then I'm gonna come back and say, this worked, this didn't work, what we gonna do different? Like I don't. If you do that consistent enough, I don't see how you pay anybody and don't end up with some type of result. I think what happens is people end up spending money on coaching and consulting. They they kind of slow about taking the action.
Yeah.
And by the time that they really get serious and dialed in, it'd be too late. That's the only thing that makes sense to me. By the way, it anybody that's here, please let me know in the chat what your perspective is on this. But I don't understand how you can spend money with a coach at that level and still come out on the other side and have nothing to show for it. Not to say that they didn't give you intellectual property, not to say that they didn't give you resources and templates and videos. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about results and meaning you didn't actually do something to execute and get the outcome. I don't understand it, bro. And I'm telling you, ever since we started talking to more existing coaches and consultants, like that's been more of the case where
Mm.
people are like, oh no, I've been trying this for like 2 years. I paid 30,000, 50,000, 100,000, and I just still ain't been able to figure it out. That's crazy to me, bro.
Wow. Wow.
Crazy to me.
Yeah.
Now don't get me wrong, David and I have been in some of the biggest rooms where we've spent very similar money
Yeah.
and we've identified the gaps, which is what make our offer so much better is the fact that we see where the gaps existed because we've paid for those products. So I mean, not to poo-poo on those things because we still got tremendous ROI on our investment in those
Yeah.
rooms. But we also saw how many people that weren't. So we like, oh, because they struggle with this part that ain't covered in there. Oh, they struggle with this part that ain't covered in there. So when we put together our offer, we just filled in those gaps so that we know these are the pieces that most people complained about being missing. So we added that into our offer, which makes it so robust. But at the very same time, I don't know, bro. It's a problem, and they got to get figured out. I'm just being honest.
Wow. I didn't even 6 figures is that's a hefty lump sum of money. It's funny that you even bring up how people don't get ROI for multiple reasons. I was talking to a guy yesterday. It was actually an interview. And he was telling me about sales and all the things of that nature. Um, and to I would say to humbly brag, and this happens more often than not, is that when people try to teach me anything, and obviously I can learn something from anybody, right? But I'm I have the privilege to be sitting at your feet, bro. The information they giving me, I'm like, nah, like I already got. I'm like, my mentorship is levels above what you're telling me. Like he's like, oh, when you're doing sales, you gotta do this, this, and that. I'm like, yeah, my mentor never said that. I was like, my mentor never said that. But another thing that I had to realize is as much as you help me, you you literally don't help me unless I'm participating.
Mm.
So I have to step within as you're mentoring me because you can give me all the information in the world and I believe you've done so and more. But I I'd still be a fool or I'd never get to the next level if I don't step with you, you know? Um, like even for example, like the dinner we had when we met, and it was me, you, and David. That would have never happened if I never took the step of just responding to the DM. You know how many people are wouldn't have responded to the text or wouldn't have joined the challenge, and then you were checking in like, hey, get the VIP because I had general admission. I'm like, bro, every time I do this, like something go wrong. But I was like, yo, like you live once. You know what I'm saying? And my that was $47. I have a year plus of the ROI currently, a year plus. So I don't know if it's people more so relying on themselves than God in those moments. I don't know if it's people saying I already know what I need and not really like sifting through it. I know I needed a little bit of everything personally. So when you hit me up, I'm like, listen, as soon as I get in this challenge, I'm milking every single hour they got. If nobody want to ask a question, I'm asking a question because I'm like, I don't have enough pride to not get an ROI. I'm like, yo, I don't have nothing that like what I have right now is not good enough. So it's just interesting to me because the ROI that I've gotten off of $47 is way more than what I believe half 3/4 of people have gotten, if I'm being honest. So I don't know if it's just a discernment issue. I don't know if it's a an impatience issue. Because when you're impatient, you'll create a bunch of Ishmaels and pray for God to bless that. But I don't know. That's interesting.
No,
That's
that's a
really
fact. That's a fact. You said a lot right there, right? I don't know if everybody caught it, but you said a lot right there because discernment, I think, is part of the problem. If people went back to the origin as to why they purchased and paid for certain coaching to begin with, they probably would find out that it was for all the wrong reasons,
right.
right? It was based on hype and hyperbole than it was based on substance, right?
Yeah.
So, and
Yeah.
then look, bro, I ain't confused. And I had never started a challenge out this way, but this past challenge, I actually told them if you looking for a room that's gonna hype you up and gas you up, this ain't the one. You ain't
Mm.
gonna like this. If you want to learn the why behind the what, we your guys, right? Because we get down to the root and help you build the foundation. But if you just here looking to catch lightning in the bottle, we ain't your guys. Now by the end of the week, you gonna have lightning in the bottle. But we gonna progress to get to that point. It's not just gonna be jumping up and down on exotic cars, making broken promises. That's just not who we are. But I think many people fall into the trap of buying because of those things.
Hmm.
They feel that pressure in the moment of like, I want this and I want that, but not to your point, discerning the fact that did I hear how all the pieces connect, or
Yeah.
did I just hear enough of the desired outcome that I want that I never opened the hood to find out that there wasn't no engine in there.
Yes.
The car
Yeah.
was beautiful.
That's good.
Everything, right. The sound system was amazing.
That's good.
The rims was spotless,
Right.
but I never took the time to open up the hood to see if the engine was there. And then you
Yeah.
buy the thing and you go, I still need an engine. I got a
That's good.
funnel. I got a funnel. I got a website. I got all the aesthetic, but I'm still don't have no engine though.
Mm.
And I think that is a lot of where the problems start for people. Because if there's anything that we hear most by the time people come to our challenge is like, I wish I would have known y'all 6 months ago. I wish I'd have known y'all a year ago. And what they really saying is like they finally got with some people that really understand what's going on
Yeah.
and that genuinely care about the people understanding what's really going on.
Yeah.
Because you got that other component where as you like you know how like at work, if you work in a corporate setting or whatever, the your superior a lot of time don't want to tell you everything they know because they feel like then you may come for their job,
1,000%.
right?
One
And
thousand.
and and same is true in business, and especially in like this information space, if you will, right?
Yeah.
Where a lot of people, this why that whole gatekeeping thing been going viral for the last couple of years because a lot of people that do know, even for the people that they pouring into, they don't give them everything because either they're trying to gatekeep for the next level or they genuinely just don't want everybody to know so that way they feel like they got a leg up on everybody, which is crazy to me, right?
Yeah.
Like my biggest wish or aspiration in life has always been for those that I coach to do better than me. Now that ain't gonna be easy to do, but I want you to. I'm gonna give you everything that I got that you can handle with the hopes that you would surpass me someday,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And everybody just not built like that.
Yeah. 100%.
Everybody
100%.
ain't built like that. What's up, Toya?
I think
Everybody, you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah,
And so to your point, the discernment is definitely a part of it. But you also said something else that I think is key, which is how many people pay for coaching and consulting, think I got 6 months or a year, and as a result of that, they're not as aggressive as they need to be.
yes.
What
100%.
appears what appears to be aggressive is
Yes.
excitement initially.
Yes.
I pay
Yes.
this money, I'm excited.
Yes.
Then you go back to doing your job. You go back to running your business. You go back to
Yeah.
doing normal life. You go back to dealing with them kids. You go back to dealing with that marriage. You go back to
Yeah.
doing all these things. And then all of a sudden, you ain't excited no more because life done start lifing again.
Bro.
So then you go, let me, I got time to go and do this. So let me go deal with this spouse. Let me go deal with these kids. Let me go get this thing straightened out at the job. Let me go fix this thing in my business. I'm going to come back to that. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, you showing up on calls, you making it appear that you're doing stuff, but you really not. When you showing up to that call was what you did for the day. You
Yes.
ain't nothing else outside of that
Yeah.
call for the day. So
100%.
given the appearance that you actually being productive, right? But there's a difference between activity and productivity.
Come
You're
on.
doing the activity of showing up in the environment, but you're not doing the productivity of doing the thing outside of the environment. And then you look up and you go, man, I only got 2 months left.
Bro.
So then in 2 months, your last 2 months in the program, you try to go and do everything that you should have been doing. And then you just watching that shot clock
Bro.
drop and you like, I'm out of time.
You you just hit it on the nose, man. This is something that I can speak to 1000%. Excitement isn't execution at all. At
Mm-hmm.
all. Like, and I'll use myself as an example. Like, I thank God every day that I get to sit at the feet of B. Even you were like, yo, like, yeah, I'm grateful that you sitting at my feet. Where's the hunger? I'm in my head like, I thought I was excited enough though. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm scratching my head like, was I not like hype enough? Did I not like text you enough? Like, you know what I'm saying? A lack of execution was what you were speaking on. You were like, listen, yes, it's great. Thank you for the flowers. Um, all the things of that nature. But you were like, I need you to execute. I love the energy. I love how excited you are. I love when you bring praise, but praise can't get no better if he doesn't execute. And one thing that I've realized is that when you don't know what you should be doing with your time, you'll do everything with your time.
Facts.
So I
Facts.
didn't know what I should be doing with my time. So now I'm doing everything and anything with my time because another thing that I was realizing, and you talked about this, you were talking about in a video, just different stages before success or how to be successful, and you were talking about environment. When you don't know what to do with your time and you're confused with your time, you'll end up confusing yourself thinking that your environment loves you for you, but they only love you for what you bring to them or what they get from the relationship.
Oh,
When you know
man.
what to do with your time and you know,
Yeah.
okay, I need to be reading or I need to be investing in the business or I need to be creating the content, you'll actually see people who love you for your development and growth and not for what they can get. So now I'm like,
1,000%, bro.
so
1,000%.
now you bringing this up, right? You're like, yo, like a lot of people are just doing activity. It's because they haven't even been in alignment or know what tasks they should be doing to align themselves with where they want to go. So people are spending money on all this mentorship because they don't even know, okay, what should I be doing to get from A to B? They haven't mapped that out yet. So now they hoping the mentorship maps it out for them. One thing that you've had to do a lot for me, you're like, okay, like we just gotta go straight to the soil and start uprooting it. Like we just gotta get everything out. You weren't trying to cut the leaves, you wasn't trying to cut the branches or the trunk. You were like, we just gonna uproot everything and then we'll start. So I think that's one of the biggest things is that people think excitement is execution. You know, day one, they're like, oh yeah, like this is what I'm going through, this is what I'm struggling with. And then day 7, they're like, they chilling at that point. They just chilling, B. Because if we being honest, you say there's only one thing that you're gonna do is execute. You've always
Yeah.
said that. You've
Yeah.
always said I'm an executor. I don't care if the play is good or bad. I'm an execute. A lot of people they and I wouldn't say gaslighters, but they just like they hype men when they first start. They
Yeah.
hype men because I've been there where you're like, oh yeah, like I can't wait to do that. So now you hyping it up. The person you working with is like, okay, they seem like they ready for it. They have no intentions of taking any action
Yeah.
at all, and they don't know that until the going get tough.
But the thing is, bro, Proverbs 14:23, right?
Yep.
All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. All hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. So what happens is the reason why I live in execution, because the text is not saying all my hard work will be profitable in the sense that we think, like financially.
Right.
But what
Right.
it is saying is that the if you do the work will work on you until it work for you.
That's good. That's
That's
good.
why all hard work brings a profit, because you're going to profit in the sense of it's going to work on you until it work for you.
That's good.
But mere talk leads to poverty. People that talk a lot be broke a lot. So this is the problem. When all I do is talk about the excitement I have, but I haven't embodied the anatomy of somebody that executes, then I'm
Wow,
going to end up in poverty.
bro.
I'm going to end up with a loss. I'm going to
This is
end
good.
up wasting money on coaching because I'm not the person that has become an executor. I'm a great conversationalist,
Yes.
and I execute only on the days I feel good,
Yes,
right? So
bro.
what happens is, bro, it's so many layers to this, man. The
Yeah.
first the first one that you mentioned is, until I'm clear about my yes, then I won't discipline myself with my no.
Come on, please.
Until I'm clear about my yes, I'm not going to discipline myself with my no. So I why would I stop going to happy hour for the just for the sake of going I like going to happy hour. I like meeting with my remember when friends and having those remember when stories. Remember when we were remember that time? You remember when? Right. If I'm not clear about what else I'm
Right.
supposed to be doing,
Right.
then why would I stop doing that?
You're right. You're
To
absolutely right.
some degree, it's a convenient distraction and it feel good with people I'm comfortable with.
Yes.
But when I go, I got to get this new thing built out over the course of the next 90 days, then I can't give up Thursdays no more. I can't
That's
give
good.
up Tuesdays no more. During that time, that 3-4 hours that I sit holding the bar up with you, I gotta be in the portal going over this. I gotta be on the call building that. I gotta be networking doing this. I gotta be reaching out doing that. I gotta be going live consistently. Right? So now that I'm clear about my yes, it becomes easier to say no to those things.
Hmm.
I think part of the one of the misnomers with this whole idea of progress, and Toy, I'm gonna answer your question here in a second. One of these misnomers is that with discipline, right?
Hmm.
Is we get it's Proverbs 14:23. We forget that the things we do bad make us feel good.
All right, y'all. I'll see y'all next Thursday. It was a great conversation. I hope y'all have a great day. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. B.
Hey,
See you next week, man.
hey,
I'll see
hey,
you
we,
next week.
we, we gotta we gotta remember we human beings. The things that we do bad make us feel good, bro.
Man.
So it's like, well, why don't you just quit doing that? It's like, what do you mean? I like getting high. I I like drinking. I like spending money. I like going on trips. I love every time I get a new box to open up from Amazon. It's like Christmas every day. I get to crack open a new package. I like watching TV. I like eating sweets and every day if I
My
could.
goodness.
And then you'd be like, you need to be more disciplined. It's like, okay, but for what though?
Mm.
So to tell me just to stop doing things I like to do, although they're not good for me, is crazy. For the very same reason that You don't make a decision to follow Christ once. You make a decision to follow Christ daily. If we really keep it a buck, you make a decision to follow him in every decision that you make. Forget daily, every moment. Because my fleshly desire, my natural tendency is to lean into destruction for myself. So I got to make a conscious decision every moment that I'm choosing him over that. But if I don't have him, hello? If I don't have him to choose, then why would I not just choose my default?
Come on. He's listen. He taking.
Why would I not have 5 girls to talk to because all of them stimulate my personality in different ways? Why would I not choose 5? Why would I just go get one and have to deal with that when I could get 5? So this is what I'm saying, bro. This is a principle, not just business. This show up in every aspect of your life. Let your yes be yes and your no be no. You got to be clear about what your yes is in order to discipline yourself with your no.
Bro, you just took me to church, slapped me in the head a few times, pushed me down the stairs. But everything you said was facts, man, because people love familiar chaos than being clear.
Period.
People love familiar chaos other than being clear. People want to have those conversations where the person that they're with is below them mentally, so then they feel like they're actually adding value to somebody. That's not value.
Bro.
I had to realize that the hard way, bro. I'm telling somebody the same thing every week, thinking that, oh my goodness, like God, I'm really growing. Am I really though?
Bro, they the Starbucks scholars. Starbucks scholars. They sit around and have coffee and tell you about everything that they've read, seen, heard, but ain't executed on none of it.
Nothing.
If you were talking to them, you would think they were multi-millionaires and they getting a cup of coffee to go back in their cubicle somewhere. But they know all the stuff. Why?
Right.
Because at some point, they at least sat in the right rooms to hear the right things. But this is what I'm saying, Proverbs 14:23, all hard work brings a profit, but mere talk leads to poverty. I don't care how intelligent you are, if all you do is run your mouth, you broke. Period. You're not better than nobody. The person who's intelligent that talks versus the person who may not be as intelligent that works will always be better. Because all hard work brings a profit. It's certain things that person is figuring out in execution mode that you could never figure out looking, listening, and watching. Never can. Because action is the only thing that brings clarity. Not consumption. Action is the only thing that brings clarity. So for that reason, bro, I think a lot of people spend money on coaching, consulting, and then they stay in learning mode for too long.
Yes.
They stay in consumption mode for too long. And they negotiate with themselves daily about what should they do and what they shouldn't do. As opposed to, if I'm clear about what the goal is, see, everything starts with the end in mind. So if I say, I want to start this coaching program as an example, and I want to make $250 this year, right? Okay, cool. Number one, how much is your offer? Let's start with that, right? So you got to develop an offer because you got to first understand if my offer is $5,000 or $10,000, how many of these do I need to sell a month to keep on pace with hitting this annual goal of $250? But people say I want to hit the 250, but never stop to think about this part. And then even if they start to think about that part of, okay, I got a 10K offer, I need to sell two to 3 of these a month. Then the next step is, well, how many sales calls do I need to get on for that? And not only how many sales calls, but what's my closing percentage when I'm on these sales calls?
Mm-hmm.
And not only that, But in order to have sales calls, I gotta have leads. So how many leads do I need to bring in order to have X amount of sales calls, in order to close X percentage, in order to get X amount of revenue? So people be setting all these lofty goals for themselves, but never reverse engineer the daily work that has to happen in order to get there. Word of mouth as a business plan will keep you broke. So how you generate leads? Really just word of mouth. Word of mouth. So you waiting on somebody to tell somebody about your business? That's the plan.
This is good.
That's the plan. A referral. You waiting on somebody to tell somebody about your business, and you just be sitting over there. What do you do? Do you knit in the meantime? Like, how does that work? How do you fill that space? You watch Netflix and wait until your phone ping? I don't really understand that.
Wow.
That's your business plan. Like yeah. Whew, by God's grace, I never had to market. That's not good. That's not something to be proud of.
Right.
Because show me any successful business that does not have a marketing expense as a line item. Like, show me one. You can't. Every business, successful business, has marketing as a line item. And it's a significant percentage of their operating expense. So to think you're gonna run your business on word of mouth is crazy. You'll run it all right. You're gonna run it in the ground. That's where you're gonna. How many leads do I generate on certain posts? Do static posts and tweet posts that get reshared out? Do those bring in more leads? What do I do with the people that follow? Do I immediately send them a message and engage them and ask them, tell them thank you for the following? What do you do? Like what am I doing? What am I doing to control the things that I can control to put my business in a better position?
Bro, this is so good.
But that's not what people do every day, bro. I promise you. They get up and they be like, I made my post today. They check the box. My coach said make a post every day. So I made my post today. I checked the box. Right? I checked the box. Ecclesiastes 11:6. Sow your seed in the morning and get busy by afternoon, for you do not know from which endeavor, if not both, that you may profit. That's a productivity hack. Sow your seed in the morning. Yep, make your post. But then go get busy by afternoon, from you do not know from which endeavor, if not both, that you may profit. But what do people do? They make the post and then they just sit there and watch it all day. 23 views. Man, see. Sow your seed in the morning. That's part of sowing your seed in your business. That's your marketing seed. You got to put it out there. But then go get busy by afternoon. So you sowed your seed in the morning. How about go live during the afternoon? Talk about something for 10, 12, 15 minutes. Let new people find you while you're on live. For you do not know from which endeavor, if not both, that you may profit. Productivity hack. I know, believe it or not, as much as I'm at execution, I pride myself on execution. I'm still also procrastinate. So I literally have that Ecclesiastes 11:6 sitting here in my office to remind me of that. It's not that I don't have the same issues that everybody else have. I just don't allow myself to stay stuck in them. That's the difference.
That's good. And it's so funny because and the second part of this, it's really a question for you. Because I want you to elaborate on it. Real quick. Let's answer this.
We got to answer Toya question too.
Yeah. I was gonna say let's answer that first. Let's do that first.
You wanna do that first? Okay.
Yeah.
Toya, you still on here? Let us know if you still on here.
She said, "What is one major lesson in business?"
Yeah, I'm gonna put it on the screen.
Okay.
Let's see if I can find it. Here we go. What is one major lesson learned in business the first 10 years? I'm in the eighth year, and oh man, major lesson. Nobody will ever care as much as you do. Nobody will ever care as much as you do. I think for me, that realization, while painful at times, helped to keep my sanity and also help for me not to resent people because as the business owner, through your efforts, you're able to take care of other people and their families. But then you go, but when you're not doing your job to help me do that at a higher level, how do you think your check get paid? It's not like every business come with a magic payroll account that regardless of what's going on, the payroll account just always has money in it. Now I gotta go out and bake the cake from scratch to help you take care of your family. So why don't you help me help you? And you would think everybody get that, but then they don't. That's why some people will never be entrepreneurs. They're just workers. They not they don't understand that mentality of I gotta go catch it, kill it for us to eat it. And as my consultant would say, and they just sit around in in the tree in the nest like baby birds waiting for you to come drop the worms in their mouth. Instead of thinking, what if we all got out the nest today and then we met back up at the nest and saw who got what? It's a different mentality. Most people just don't have that. They gonna sit in the nest and they gonna wait for you to come and drop the worm in their mouth like a little baby bird. Instead of thinking, how can I help to contribute to what we bringing into the nest? And so for most people that that work for you, they're gonna do status quo on a good day. When they're excited, they may shock you. When they're feeling really good about life, they may shock you and do something here and there that'll be like, didn't see that one coming. Thank you for thinking about that. But most of the time, they're gonna be here with the status quo and they're gonna play a lot here until you have to some form of correction and they'll come back here for a while. They stay in between here. You know, we call them steady eddies. They're gonna show up, they're gonna not get fired. You know, like Marshawn Lynch said, I'm just here so I won't get fired.
Facts.
Right. That's most people, bro. And when you as the business owner live in this feast or famine phase, it's kind of hard not to take that level of behavior as as it not being disrespectful. But they really don't mean no harm. They're just being them. And so for me, it took me years to figure that out, right? And I thank God now that I have. So now I just understand that most people in your organization will be like milk in the refrigerator. It's got an expiration date. And if you continue to drink that milk beyond its expiration date, that same thing that was meant to get you healthy will start to now get you sick.
Mm.
So it's seasons, and it's understanding that, and it's being unemotional about that and unapologetic about that. And when those seasons come, it's time to make the move. Why? Because that shelf life is starting to go bad. It's only so much you just gonna get out of certain people until you've gotten the most of what you're gonna get, and it's time to get somebody else in that same spot with similar capabilities, but that their energy meter is up here. It's I know that sound crazy, bro, but it's just the nature of what you do as a business owner. It's like you get somebody who, based on their season of life, their interests and desires, that this is the best thing next to sliced bread for them, and then they run its course, right? A couple years, and then it's just what it is. The days of hiring somebody and they with you for 20 years, I mean that's just not it no more. And you look at it, right? Thanks to much of your generation, you look at the Gen Z, the statistics, they're staying at jobs on average 3 to 4 years at most. Whereas me as a millennial, us and watching Gen X and baby boomers, they stay with companies 30, 40, 50 years. That's just not the world we live in no more, right? AI and all the rest of it. So if that's happened with big C corporations, then you got to know as a small business owner that same will be true for you. That and then it's the entitlement piece too. That's the other part. That as you scale, or forget scale, let's just say that those in the company see that you have these revenue spikes, depending on the nature of your business, right? If you run events, if you run things of that nature, you're gonna have these revenue spikes because that's the nature of the business, right? You have a big event, you have a big revenue event. It takes a certain type of individual to be able to look at that occurrence and see that you just bought in $500,000 and then look at their annual salary and go, that ain't got nothing to do with this. Because it don't, right? This is the top line revenue of the business. This is your salary that get paid regardless of how the business is doing. So what about if we was negative 500,000, but that check still got paid? Do I then get to look at your check and go, give me that back? you know what I'm saying? But
Right.
everybody don't think like that. Toya, tell me if I'm lying. Like that's just not how people operate, bro. And so it's that's the for me in 10 years of business is that understanding that people are seasonal, people battle with entitlement, and very few get up every day and think about how do I how do I maximize my contribution to the company.
Mm.
They think about, did I do everything I was supposed to do today? So most people are order takers instead of innovators and integrators. Old school, they would call it tending the bar. I left them in charge to tend the bar. You get some people that can tend the bar, but they ain't gonna come back and wow you with what they did while you were gone. They may have served some drink and washed some dishes, but they ain't figured out how to take that same bottle and squeeze two more shots out of it so that you made extra money. It's a different mentality. And then if you do catch that entrepreneurial spirit, then the next limitation is how do you keep them in that seat long enough before they think I could just go do this myself.
Mm.
So it's people. Like at the end of the day, Any business owner is in the business of people. And that will always be the most challenging aspect of any business is the people. Is the people. Toya said people move on emotion most times. They don't think 5 to 10 or even 30 years from now, not even close. They're not thinking past when my next paycheck coming for most of them. Seriously. Seriously. For many of them, no matter how much they see what you do from a vein of personal development, the things that you do to keep your spirit in shape, your body in shape, your mind in shape, right? All those things as a leader that they see from you, they'll come in and they'll look like they're doing the same things or along the same lines, and then, bro, and then when that camera turn off, they somewhere eating Cheetos, watching Sports Center. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
that'd be another dynamic. Like if you doing it right as the business owner, you continuing to evolve. If the people around you aren't evolving, not even at the same rate, but even in a similar capacity, you're gonna keep outgrowing the people that you work with. So that's another component that I had to understand. Like that don't mean you failed as a leader. That means you're growing as a leader, right? That you're outgrowing people to where you look up and you like. It's kind of like when Jay Z they were at that one summer jam and they brought Michael Jackson out, and then you saw like post interview and Dame and Bleak and all them was like losing their mind, talking crazy, acting crazy, and you kind of see Jay having this out of body experience where he just kind of processing what just happened. Like I was just on stage with Michael Jackson, and his team is he looking around, and you could just tell like he looking like this ain't it. They looking at the fact that they were on the stage with Mike. I'm looking at the fact that Mike just came out on stage with me. I'm at a different level. They mesmerized by Mike. I'm looking at the level that I just shifted to.
Mm.
I just got Michael Jackson to come out on stage with me. They looking at it like we was on stage with Michael Jackson. You picking up what I'm putting down, bro?
Yeah.
They're in the same place having two totally different perspectives about what just happened. They like, I'm on stage with Michael Jackson. He like, I just had Michael Jackson come out on stage with me. Guess what? Shortly after that, he disbanded Rockefeller. Because he had to look around and go, we ain't the same. I'm I gotta go to another, I gotta shed this. This is dead weight for me now. They don't see what I see. So people like, why after making 30, 40 million bucks, how do you just say, I'm done? It's like, because I looked around and I knew that the next I'm at a different level that they don't see, and I can't get to that level if they're with me,
Yeah.
right? So it's always gonna be the people, and you need them, right? So don't misunderstand me. You need people that like that. That's the nature of it, but you just need to have a proper perspective as it pertains to people. And Maya Angelou said it best: when people show you who they are the first time, believe them. So when you start to see these patterns change in behavior, and you start to see the consistency in not hitting the mark, and you starting to see the consistency in the attitude adjustments and changes, and when you start seeing that, regardless of who they were in the previous season, regardless of what level of excitement and interest that they had, and what level of commitment and all those things, you have to accept that the season has shifted and make the necessary move as the leader. Because if you fall too in love with who they used to be, it's gonna keep you from becoming who you're supposed to be.
I don't know what got into you this morning. I don't know if it was your
I
food. I
don't.
don't know if it was
I'm be honest.
mindset.
I didn't even feel like doing this today, so I don't know.
I don't
But
know. Maybe that's why.
by the way, this is exactly what I'm saying. I didn't feel like doing this at all today. But my decisions ain't based on my emotions. It's based on my commitments. Commitment was we do this 10 a.m. I think Diane asked, we do this 10 a.m. every Thursday. And that's the commitment. So regardless of how I felt, I still showed up. And guess what? It was good that I did, apparently.
I'm grateful for it. It'll be the days where instead of expecting how God is going to move, you just expect God. This was one of them calls. Because I'm usually like, oh, God's probably going to do it like this. I've started to shift into the mindset, well, if God's here, he's going to move regardless. Like, I'm not trying to figure out what the move is going to look like. I'm just expecting him to do it. So that's what this call was. Because I'm like, yo, what are we going to we listen. B says this every time we get on. We get on probably like 10 minutes before. We talk about what we're going to talk about. We submit it to the Lord. We pray that he increase and we decrease. And then we turn the cameras on. So for me coming in today,
it'd be more like 2 minutes.
Really? Yeah, it really do be more like 2 minutes.
Because your boy I be just sliding back from the gym like, all right, what we about to do, P?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So mind
but it is that though. Because truthfully, we want y'all to drive the conversation anyway in the chat. So we have an idea of what we like to talk about. But it's really y'all questions. Like Toya had a great question asking about the biggest challenge in business, right? And we here for y'all. So y'all should be asking questions in the chat so that we can give y'all what y'all want,
Yeah. So we get on this 2 minutes before, and before I used to always be like, God, what do you want me to talk about? What do you want me to talk about? Da, 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 da. But like today was one of those calls where it's just like, listen, I'm gonna just expect God, and however he moved, I accept it, not knowing it was exactly everything I needed to hear. So it's just funny because there's times I've chosen to.
Oh, I'm sorry, bro.
You good?
Yeah. I'm 100%. By the way, we got about 7 minutes. So if y'all got any questions remaining, put them in the chat so we get to them before we get off of here.
And there were some you said a ton just in this call alone. But there's these two thoughts that just keep hovering in my mind. Well, first one is that it says in the word that don't only be hearers of the word, but be doers. But I heard an interpretation of that verse that you can hear something in a way that that you think you're doing it already. So you can just hear information and be like, oh yeah, like I heard you got an X, Y, and Z. That's why people be so excited to give advice. But everybody's excited to show the advice that they were given. You know what I'm saying? So that's one thing. And, a lot of people in business, and when I was first trying to start it out, that's why like in this season that I remember in my life, I'm grateful that God didn't let me scale with the wrong foundation. I'm beyond grateful for that. That he's like, hey, we got to uproot some stuff before I let you lead people, because the only person you leading is yourself right now. So you try to lead people the way you leading y'all all going into the pit, and I don't play about my people. So I'm grateful that he's not letting me do that right now, because I'm seeing, okay, this is where I'm inconsistent. This is where I need to get better. This is where, anyways. But then the other thing that I was thinking about is how in the Bible it says the truth shall set you free. You have to want to be free, though. Like a lot of people love hearing the truth, and I think with you, it's like the person gets truth, but they don't want freedom. Everybody want to hear truth. Everybody want to hear the facts of it. Da 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 da. But being free also takes work. Like you have to fight to where you're at right now. You also have to fight to stay where you're at currently at the same time. Because that means you're fighting for the bad habits. You're fighting for the toxic systems and the cycles and all the things. You're like, nah, I'm not doing that. You're not doing that. Yeah. But also, Toya got another question. I want to get to that as well.
I think that's because people want change, but they don't want to change. They want change, but they don't want to change.
Yep.
So that's why the truth isn't making them free.
Yep.
Right? They want the idea of change, but they don't want to do the things to change.
Yeah.
Because change is uncomfortable.
This is a great question from Latoya. Latoya, I don't know what you need to come every day with these questions.
As the income and influence has grown, how's your relationship with God changed the way you structure your business and/or investments? Oh my God.
That's a great
Boy,
question.
we should have started this at the top of the hour. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
It's gonna take.
Um.
He could take 9 years with this one.
Oh my God.
Keep it short, B. We only got 4 minutes. Keep it short.
Okay. So Toya, the first thing is this. I've made the mistake of doing it without him. Now, in saying that, the Lord is always with us, right? So I want y'all to understand what I'm saying in context. When I say I made the mistake of doing it without him, this is how my life used to look. I'm gonna go run the play, and then I'm gonna ask him to help me with running the play. But I've already decided the play I'm running. Okay. Now I come to him to find out the play I should be running.
Mm, that's good.
So before I'll go do the thing, go get into trouble, and then ask him to pull me out. Now I come to him before I even build the foundation. Psalm 37:4, take delight in the Lord and he'll give you the desires of your heart. Most interpret that as he'll give you everything you want, but it really means that as you spend time with him, as you sup with him, as you seek him, that he'll give you what to want. So not what you want, but what to want. So now I just try to align my desires with his desires. Because I'm going to be most successful in doing the thing that he designed and desires for me to do. But before I used to be like, oh yeah, this makes sense. Now the danger with that is this. People often ask like, well, how do evil people get rich? Because sowing and reaping is a principle, not just biblical. Right? How do evil people get rich? Because if you sow seed, I mean, just look at it logically. If I sow, let's just say I'm growing collard greens or something, I don't know. And I take 5 collard green
You
seeds
so
and
black for that. You couldn't say apples or something like.
I know. I don't even know. Anyway, that's a whole nother. I ain't taking that. So I take 5 seeds and I plant them. I'm gonna come out with some level of harvest, right? If I sow 5 seeds, I'm gonna come up with maybe 5 heads of greens or something, collards. I don't know. But if I took 500 of those seeds and I sowed them, I'm gonna come up with a much bigger harvest. So this is why sowing and reaping is not biblical, it's a principle. Based on the size of the seed that I sow, I should reap a harvest that's indicative of the size of the seed that I sowed. So I went out and got rich according to the seeds that I was sowing. But the quality of that harvest was also indicative of the quality of the seed that I sowed. And because that seed at that time was not God breathed, then neither was my harvest. I hope y'all just caught what I just said. So I had to get to a place where I get the seed from him. And I need his blessing on it when I put it in the soil. So that the harvest that I reap, scripture says that God will give you wealth without toil. That's the harvest that I want to reap from here on out.
Mm, it's good.
Psalm 37:4, Toya. Psalm 37:4. Take delight in the Lord, and He'll give you the desires of your heart.
It's good, B.
Yeah, yeah. That's the biggest difference.
Yeah. You like that one artist that keep dropping hits, and it's just like, how do you keep doing this?
Hey,
Like,
because here's the truth. Here's the truth. Just because your giftedness can take you to a place, don't mean that the anointing will be at that place. So my giftedness will put me in a room amongst kings and many men, right? Like,
Yeah.
but that don't mean that his anointing is with that though.
Mm.
His anointing is on me right now as I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I can literally feel it and sense it, right? Because this is where your anointing is contextual based on what his purpose is. So if I'm out hooping, the anointing is not on me while I'm hooping because I'm not anointed to be a hooper. I may be gifted to be a hooper, but I'm not anointed to be one. Is this making sense? So my giftedness allowed me to go get rich, but his anointing wasn't on me in that capacity that I was doing it in.
Yeah.
And people think because I'm anointed that they be like, I'm anointed. No, you're not. That's why your business suck. God told me to, yeah, he may have told you that, but you ain't do it right.
Mm.
We get these words from God and then we go build this thing and then we ain't build it the right way and then we throw Jesus glitter on it and be like, the Lord, no, that ain't how you, no. Decency and order, excellence, Colossians 3 and 23. Like, no, that's not his work. His work primo is like that ain't his work. That's your work. What and you wouldn't put his sticker on it. False advertisement. So we got to know how to be a king and a priest and where it's applicable and all those things. Maybe that's what we pick up next week.
Please. Just punched us all in the gut today. So, let us breathe next week or something.
Toya said we from up top. We have it all. Yeah, you already know. We already know. Just for her to say up top, I got a lot of understanding about who Toya is already. Dorothy said, thank you for the email. I'm so thankful I found you. Thank you, Dorothy. Thank you. Did I miss anything, bro?
No, I think you got it all, bro.
Okay. Well,
thank you for supping up
same
today.
time, same place next week, 10 a.m. Eastern. Tell a friend to tell a friend. We'll make sure we get an email out as well. But 10 a.m. next Thursday. Bring y'all questions. Write them down. For those that watch the replay, write them down. Leave them in the comments. We'll make sure we add them to the list for the things we talk about next week. And we appreciate y'all. Hopefully this was fruitful, helpful. P, as always, it's a pleasure, bro.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate you, bro. Listen, today was fire. And one more thing. Yo, it's free. Let me tell y'all something. The live is free. I don't think y'all hear me. It's free. This is free gems. Free, like, you know how you got to get in a car for church and you got to, use gas and all that stuff. You don't got to pay nothing to turn on YouTube, bro. This is free.
Yeah.
The reason we take God for granted is because a lot of his gifts are free. His grace is free. His mercy is free. His love is free. This YouTube live is free. It does not take nothing to turn on the camera and just watch a YouTube live. I promise you it's better than whatever breakfast TV show you're watching. And I'm pulling a B right here because I got to before I get off. The live is free, y'all. Every Thursday, this man is dedicating himself to get on this live. I don't even deserve it. But that's why God's mercies are new every morning. He's like, I'm going to give you mercy again. And I'm going to give you mercy again to get on live with this man. I should not be at his feet. In my personal opinion, I should not be here. I shouldn't. But it's free. What I've gotten from Brian has been free. I just had to say that. So
yeah, here's the only part with what you said. Most people don't appreciate free
at all.
Watch this though. And until they got to pay me tens of thousands of dollars to talk to me otherwise. That's the importance of free. Because any other place that you talk to me is
gonna pay. Come on. Hey.
And by the way, I'm not right. Like y'all, if y'all been listening, you know my heart. I'm just telling you. Like our coaching programs cost tens of thousands. We got coaching programs to go up to six figures. So when P is saying free, he's not saying free. He's saying it will cost you a lot more in any other context. So take advantage.
That
Right?
part.
'Cause people hear free and they just like, well, yeah, every day is free to go. No.
No, no,
Exactly. Not in this case. Okay. Not in this case.
nah.
All right. That's right. It costs time. It costs the years. It costs the hundreds of thousands lost. Cost the millions earned. It cost all of that. You're 100% correct, Toya. I appreciate your heart, your spirit. Dorothy, thank you as well. And yeah, we see y'all next week. And leave y'all questions in the comments, like I said, or write them down and bring them. Peace.